President Erdogan described his win in this runoff election as a win for the people of Turkey. What will the people of Turkey get from Mr. Erdogan in the next 5 years?
Well, President Erdogan, he was a front runner, so he was expected to win. He was set to win, and he had a head start in the second round. So there are actually a lot of reasons people opted for him again. First of all, President Erdogan's, the incumbent president's support is mainly coming from Anatolian heartland, I would say. From the mainland Anatolia, there is actually a really huge, almost half of the population that is loyal to him. He has a really huge devoted vote potential. And part of it is also the recent social policies, such as the new housing projects, the defense, infrastructure, health, high-tech initiatives, including the electric vehicle chip production, actually also including the foreign policy attempts, focusing more on employment production. And all these policies, they did pay off, including the rising wages, retirement benefits. And starting from the first round, he got a really huge support from the people. And we could also add, actually, the increasing nationalistic sentiment, I would say, and also the fact that in the first round, the People's Alliance, it got actually a majority of the parliament. So the legislative body, it was already on the People's Alliance's side, Mr. Erdogan's side, and people opted for political stability, I would say. That's another critical factor. So people preferred political stability as well. And also President Erdogan's ability to read the situation and to play accordingly. He really believes in things he does, and he really does things that he promises, he says, and people do really appreciate that.
And so I want to ask you, if I can, about the Turkish lira. Over the last decade, it's lost more than 90% of its value. And upon the re-election of Erdogan, it sunk to a new record low. Analysts predict it's going to sink even further under his government. Why that pessimism?
So, volatilities, including the high inflation rate, high current account deficit, and there are a lot of reasons for that. Part of it is rising U.S. dollar against almost everything, the tightening monetary policy in the Western world, in the U.S., in Europe, in UK. And there were also, of course, some domestic factors as well. Turkey's lacking in managing expectations, lacking in communication in its instruments, and also the expansion in monetary policy, I would say, decreasing interest rates, that also partly played a role. And the huge current account deficit, the external finance needs, all these factors, they put a pressure on Turkish lira. But looking forward, post the election, I would say Turkey and President Erdogan, they will probably balance between the huge external inflation, exchange rate volatility, and also the domestic inflation with the high growth rates and employment that they have opted for in the past. So we probably will not see that type of demand side expansionary policies, and also the lacking in communication and management of expectations that we faced before the election. And there will probably a new economic management team as well. So including all these factors, I would say looking forward, there will be more reason to be optimistic.